Can you apply for new EIDL grants yet or new PPP funding? If not, what's the latest on the projected timeline on when we may be able to? And what's the latest on stimulus distribution? When can you expect yours? Hey everyone, this is Ryder from Skip. I hope you're doing well. It's Monday, January 4th. We're 4 days into 2021. I hope it's off to a great start for you. Very quick video update here, because I also want to clarify, again, more common misconceptions that you may be seeing in other videos or in news outlets. This is very important because I think there are millions of people across the country just like you waiting for news on when you can apply for the EIDL grants, loans, and the new PPP funding, and wondering when you're going to get your stimulus check. Watch until the end of this video because just like yesterday, there's a lot of important stuff and clarification for you, and I think it's going to help. First, on EIDL grants, there is no action for you to take right now. I want to say that off the bat so you don't panic and think you're missing out on something as I record this video. Here's the latest. As you know, no action is needed. We will update this on the app so you will know immediately when you use the free Skip app whether you need to take any action or not. So if you're unsure, you can check the app. And you can also see if your address qualifies. This is a random Chicago address, but you can always put in another address here and then update the tracker and see that yes, your address does qualify. So that's a quick way to avoid looking at the data, percent poverty or percent median income based on your state. As mentioned, we check the SBA newsroom every day. We check the EIDL forms every day, throughout the day, all day. There are no new forms. There are no new guidance. Even on the Treasury website, there's nothing to take note of. I will say, if you are curious, the one press release for the SBA this year, SBA launches largest expansions of women's business centers in 30 years. This is great news. There's 20 women's business centers geared towards women, small business owners. It's a positive program, so it might be worth taking a look. There's a live webinar scheduled for Thursday, January 7th. So I'm going to put a link to this right in the app here under the EIDL grant tracker. We don't have any rules on how exactly a new form will look. All we can do is go by what the law says, what we've seen in the past from the SBA, basically what they did in response to the CARES Act, and draw some conclusions, look at their old form and see what was asked, and then basically wait for SBA guidance. We are waiting for SBA guidance. If you hear anything else where people are saying, oh, it's certain we're going to get 10,000 or 20,000, it's not true. We don't know. The SBA is in charge of this, and no one knows until the SBA releases this. So that's the latest on the EIDL grants. Lots of questions in the comments include, what if you got rejected or you never heard back before they ran out of funding? Do you have to reapply? The straight answer is we don't know yet. Probably the SBA will say we want people to reapply because we want to see intent. The SBA isn't just going to start sending people checks. You know, you may have moved, you may have relocated, you may have shut down your business. So the SBA, I would imagine, would not want to start sending out, okay, we know Joe applied back in June, but we ran out of funding, but we're just going to wire Joe $10,000. I would be surprised if they did that. So they'll probably want some action on your part to apply again, and they will make that clear in the news. Whatever they release, I will of course explain it clearly in a video, and we will explain it on the app. By the way, you can always click more info here under yes, your address qualifies. We update this post every day. We talk about what the EIDL low income qualification means. We put in the latest YouTube video, so if you don't want to miss out, you should subscribe to this channel, but you can also check on the app to see the latest daily video that we put in here. And we update the timeline every day, so you can be doubly assured that we are checking on your behalf. So you don't need to stress about missing out. You know, FOMO is pretty powerful right now because we're all waiting to get a piece of the pie, but there's no action yet, so just stay tuned and be patient. We'll let you know. In the meantime, if you have questions that I haven't answered in any of my videos, you can leave a comment, and I will do my best to answer all your questions. Okay, before I talk about the PPP and can you apply yet, just want to give you a quick update on stimulus tracker and the progress we're seeing here. It's still around 5% of people that have received their stimulus check. We're seeing lots of people reporting that they received it. We're also just getting lots of people using this tracker for the first time. I also want to say before I talk about the trackers, we have done an app fix today. So if you were experiencing some disruptions, such as the app closing on you, that's fixed. It should be fixed. Again, we did not expect all this demand. Over 50,000 of you in the last 3-4 days have signed up for our trackers. So Just want to say thanks for your patience if you were waiting to get the tracker working, either the stimulus tracker or the EIDL grant tracker. By the way, if you haven't filled out the vaccine tracker yet, it's also at the top of the reminders screen now. You can click vaccine tracker. There's been positive news. 4.6 million people in the US have gotten at least one dose. There's been talk over the weekend about redistributing the doses to try to increase the vaccination progress. It's much slower than the US planned for, and the US is being criticized for it. So almost 5 million people have been vaccinated. It's still far short of where we want it to be at this point. So there's talk about doing half doses of the Moderna vaccine, so they do half and half, or even splitting out the Pfizer, so you only get one Pfizer dose and then you wait longer to get your second dose. So that's being discussed. I'll keep you posted on that, but you can see basically where you are in the queue. It's going to be a while. Bottom line, we are hopeful that more vaccines will get emergency use authorization in the next couple weeks, and that will help accelerate the vaccination progress. Tomorrow, we're going to have the PPP tracker on the app. PPP funding. So here's the most common misconception I've seen as clickbait is that there's a new form and you should care about that. It doesn't mean anything to you because, number one, you don't need to fill out the form online. You have to go through a lender. There were over 2,000 lenders in the first go around. Yes, they've updated this form a little bit. They updated the expiration date number here. Maybe they changed some things in here, but not really. So I don't even want to focus on that right now. I just want to say we are expecting guidance on the PPP form middle of this week. However, that still doesn't matter because you have to go through a lender. So if you look at all the lender sites, Cabbage was a big online lender that many people used. They're saying basically wait. Chase Bank is saying the same thing, update on PPP and loan forgiveness. Great news, Congress just passed legislation that creates funding for additional PPP loans for small businesses. It will also make it easier for current PPP borrowers to request forgiveness. The SBA is working to finalize the details on both. So here's what happens. The SBA finalizes details, then they notify the lenders. None of the lenders, the 2,000 plus lenders, know what to expect. The SBA will say, great, Chase Bank, here's how we're going to do it this time, so you can start accepting applications. All of the main lenders right now have online applications. Just to give a sense, here are the top PPP lenders from the first go around. And so basically all of these developed forms to make it easy for you to apply online. It took them a while, but they eventually got with it, and we expect the same thing this go around. So basically when Chase is told from the SBA, great, you can start accepting new applications, Chase will change this. Same with Bluefine, another lender that processed a lot of loans. By the way, on the Skip website, you can also search for this on the app as well, but we've listed all the PPP loan recipients from the first go-around. Everyone who got over 150K was publicly released by the SBA, so you can search in your area or wherever to see names of companies or nonprofits that got PPP funding. If you're curious, or if you took PPP funding, you can also see if you are listed, if the world can see that you took money from the PPP. A lot of people cared about that. That's the PPP news. We have a PPP partner that's going to give our users priority. That's going to be on the app. So if you are thinking about PPP, you want to learn about can you do PPP and EIDL. In some cases, if you're just one person, it doesn't make sense. It's better to just go after the EIDL grant. But if you have a few people, it's often worth also doing the PPP. I'll say more about that in a future video. Bottom line, you don't need to take any action on PPP loans yet. You don't need to take any action on EIDL grants or loans yet. You can track stimulus progress here. The IRS.gov website is still down. They may have it fixed by tomorrow where you can see more detailed information such as where your payment is going. This percentage here shows you basically how much to expect and relative progress. So that might be helpful for you. Since the IRS website is down, you can use us for the time being, and you can see vaccine progress. So those are the things you can do now. As always, thank you so much for supporting our channel, for subscribing and sharing with a friend. We hope this information will help millions of you. So please share with a friend and like this video. And feel free to download the free Skip app. We are ready for all the traffic now, and we've just released a new version, and PPP tracker is coming tomorrow. Stay well, stay healthy, and have a great rest of the day.